Hey photographers! A few weeks ago, a viewer suggested that a different lighting technique might make me look younger. Of course, I'm old. Using techniques to camouflage that are not my style. For instance, in case you didn't notice, I don't color my hair. Now, my friend David offered to lend me a Mole Richardson 1K. This light is from the 1970s, and he's refurbished it for home decor use, so now it has a standard E27 base that can accommodate consumer LED and incandescent light bulbs, so I put a Philips Hue bulb in it. The full name of this light is the Model 407 Baby Solar Spot. And the original Mole Richardson Fresnel Solar Spot won Peter Mole an Oscar in 1935. And in this fixture's original incarnation in the previous millennium, it used 1,000-watt light bulbs. And while creating lots of heat, which is why lighting techs always wear gloves, depending on bulb, it probably generated about 10,000 lumens of light. It has an on-off switch, and then this dial, which moves the light inside back and forth to create a spot or a more diffuse light. The glass lens in front uses a design by Augustin Jean Fresnel to concentrate the light. It was originally used in lighthouses. Fresnel's lens is called the invention that saved 1,000 ships. While the Baby Solar Spot highlights Hollywood nostalgia, not really a solution for a small-scale YouTube creator in 2023. So, luckily, a few days after that viewer threw me shade, an email from the Chinese company GVM suggested that I might want to try their new light, the GVM SD300D. 300 refers to the power. And at full power, it pulls 300 watts from the wall. And as it shipped from China, GVM indicated that I should just keep the light. But they didn't pay me, although they did refund the customs charges that I paid when the package arrived. They didn't tell me what to say, didn't see the script or the video before posting. So, the lighting that you're looking at now is mostly provided by a Westcott softbox with 5 fluorescent bulbs. It uses 130 watts. Behind me, an over-the-shoulder backlight. And the fill on this side comes from a reflector. Now, I'm going to replace the softbox key light with the SD300. And it's made using a COB, chip-on-board design, which allows higher output from smaller sizes. And the unit comes in a useful carry case and includes a large and sturdy C-stand extending up to about 170 centimeters. Sturdy is needed, as once the softbox is mounted, it becomes front-heavy. Now, this is the fixture. It's a mono spotlight on a yoke with both horizontal and vertical mounting options on the C-stand, providing lots of angling flexibility. It looks and feels solid and well-made, a combination of plastic and aluminum alloy. It weighs slightly over 3 kilos. Its longest dimension is 35 centimeters. Now, you can't describe it as either small or light, but it's certainly smaller and lighter than the Baby Solar Spot. And there are no bulbs to replace. On the back, there's a DMX control connector, as well as proprietary DC in. Power is provided by a big and heavy power supply with the special connector required, and it's compatible with both 120 and 240 volt supply. Now, note that in the horizontal configuration, the mount doesn't provide quite enough space to swivel once the connector is attached. Note also that the integrated cable is only 150 centimeters long, so if you passed math, you'll realize it will likely be hanging awkwardly just off the floor. Now, a clumsy Velcro thingy is provided, but the kit really needs a power supply with an integrated clamp for the stand or a longer cable. Also on the back, an on-off switch, a mode button, a combo control dial for setting brightness and color temperature, as well as an LCD screen. The mode button selects from slave, master, terms that, while traditional in the lighting context, are in need of revision, and then app for control using a smartphone, DMX for control from a console, and rotate, which activates the control dial. Rotating the dial smoothly changes brightness in single-unit increments from 0 to 100. At 100, the bare light creates a very bright 12,000 lux at 1 meter, according to the documentation. I didn't verify that, but that's more than the 407. The SD300 is so bright, it overpowers this small studio space. Pressing the center of the dial changes the control to color temperature mode, 2700 to 7500 K in 100-step increments, unexpectedly wide range. And then, according to the manual, the CRI, color rendering index, is over 97, where 100 is ideal. Now, a QR code on the fixture opened a website that didn't have a working link, but I was able to find the app in the App Store. After registering, the app provides remote control of brightness and color temperature. A diffuser cap, as well as a reflector hood using the standard Bowens mount, are provided. Now that combo provides a direct and very bright light. Here's a DSC Labs chart for reference, first with the fluorescent fixture that I'm replacing. Fully illuminated, it requires ISO 320 to set the meter to 0, and although I can't vouch for the color measurements provided by the Sony a7 IV, it reports a white balance of 4600 M5. Switching to the SD300 at the same distance and angle, I need to turn its brightness down to 12 to match the levels. That uses a mere 16 watts. When I reset ISO to 100, the SD can be turned up to 35, about 60 watts. Cranking brightness up to 60 is 1 stop over, all the way to 100, 2 stops over. Very bright. Back at 35, with the CCT set at 5200, Sony measures 4700. With CCT at 3000, it reports 2900, then at 7000, 5900. As I say, I can't vouch for the accuracy of the white balance measurement, but even if we give each the benefit of the doubt, a discrepancy of at least 500K. Other fixtures with CCT settings have been closer to the mark. Now, thanks to the Bowens mount, you'll find lots of compatible modifiers. And in a separate bag, GVM supplies an octagonal softbox, generally preferred for portraits, for illuminating a large area with soft and diffuse light. Now, the setup of this thing was inscrutable. Thanks to YouTube creator Art Video Productions for providing the detailed information I needed. And I'm now set up with the diffuser cap and the softbox with one of the 2 diffuser cloths. A grid is also provided. Okay, the switchover is now complete. The key light is the SD300. And I've set the brightness at 35, the CCT at 5200. The camera's custom white balance measures 4500, no magenta shift. And I will note that, even at 35 brightness, it does generate some heat, but includes a quiet cooling fan. It whirs for a second at startup. After that, you have to be pretty close to hear it, even after it's been on for a while with full brightness at 100. The app includes some scene effects for lazy gaffers and best boys. All are easily selected from the app. There is lightning, TV, you've got fireworks, and candle. All of these actually have additional controls as well. Now, presets of light level and color temperature can be saved as my scenes, making it easy to return to the brightness and color for this scene. GVM also sells 200 and 600 watt versions of this fixture. I won't call the unit inexpensive, but it's certainly less than the competition. Seems like very good value to me. And as it uses less power for the same amount of light as my older fixtures, my climate impact and electricity cost will be lower. I should share one note with you. The first unit I received didn't work properly, but GVM replaced it. As I said, I do get to keep the SD300, but GVM did not pay me. tell me what to say, or review the contents of this video before posting. I'm pleased with the fixture and intend to keep using the light for my studio shoots. I don't get to keep David's Mole Richardson 407 baby solar spot. He wants it back. David has a bunch of refurbished lights for sale. If you're interested, I've put his link in the description. And I don't want to leave the wrong impression about the baby solar spot. Mole Richardson of Hollywood, California remains a respected and active manufacturer of studio lights, and the Model 407 is still available in its original burgundy livery. So, except for that. Thanks to members of this channel, no interruptions in the middle of my videos. I don't read sponsored ads. So there's a join button below, or super thanks, but subscribing remains free. All of my videos are available to everyone, and I reply to all civil comments and relevant questions. And thanks for watching. Stay safe.